Common Core State Standards Math, 7th grade, Expressions and Equations for Algebra 2A, 2B, Solving with Rational Coefficients. And these are more examples of it, because it's kind of tough. You have to know, take care of a lot of stuff, like fractions, decimals, negatives, and you have to balance. So let's go through it here. We have 1/2 x equals 8. So we're working on the x side, which is 1/2 x. And what's happening to the x? Well, it's being multiplied by 1/2. So it's a whole fraction. So when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. So it's keep, change, flip. So it's 2/1 times 1/2 x equals 8. And we have to do it to both sides, times 2/1. So we have, we cross simplify, we have a 1x, which is really just an x, equals, and we're going to make this a fraction. So 8 times 2 is 16/1. X would be 16. The next one would be example 6, and it would be a -3/4 x equals 9. So you have a negative. You also have a fraction as a coefficient. So we need to be looking at that. So we're looking at the x side, and that's this side here. And you have a -3/4 x. So it's being multiplied by -3/4. The x is being multiplied. So you're going to flip, keep, change, flip. So you're going to flip this here, and the number takes a negative, times -3/4 x equals 9 times -4/3. Okay, do you see how these are both the same on both sides? Because that's the balancing. So now we can cross that out because we have the coefficient of 1. So we're left with x equals, here we can't. We'll put that as a fraction, 9/1. We can cross simplify because there's a factor 3 here and a factor 3 here. And now we multiply numerators to numerators and we get 12/1, which is 12. And actually it is -12 because we have one negative here. So don't forget that, just like I did. And one last example, because it is quite hard. -7/8 x equals -21/64. All right, so getting harder, but you're getting smarter, so it's okay. So we're looking at the x side, and the x is being multiplied by -7/8. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is -8/7 times -7/8, and that's a 7, equals -21 times over 64 times -8/7, because you've got to multiply both sides by the same thing. So we can get the coefficient of, we forgot the x again, oh my goodness, of x over here, and it's positive because there's two negatives. And on this side here, we can cross simplify here, and if not, you can just multiply across and divide. So 7 goes into 7 one time, and it goes into 21 3 times, and 8 goes into 8 one time, it goes into 64 8 times. And it's also negative. So now we have 3 times 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 1 is 8. But it is also negative. Now the last thing you must check is to see if that fraction answer is indeed simplified. And you check the factors. Does 2 go into both? No. Does 3 go into both? No. Does 5 go into both? No. Does the numerator go into it? No. So your GCF is 1. You are done. And actually, there's a negative here. It's wrong. This is positive because here is a negative and here is a negative. So the answer is x equals 3/8. Change that, please. Make sure you do that. Thank you.